Welcome back to another What I Eat in a Week, and this one is Fall Edition, which is the first ever What I Eat in a Week that I ever did a year ago. So it's kind of nostalgic, kind of adorable. We've been through a lot since then, so it's so fun to do another one. And yeah, we've got some awesome fall recipes. So I started off with some pumpkin French toast for breakfast, and I really wanted to put an apple butter kind of like glaze on top, but I didn't have any, so of course I had to make some. And the French toast turned out so nice and crispy, but instead of the apple butter, I made a pumpkin maple syrup type thing, and I topped it with some walnuts, and then of course a little more maple syrup on top. Absolutely, positively delicious. It was so good. Then once the apples were done stewing for 2 hours on the stove, I blended them up, and there's my little apple butter. Apple butter is honestly, no joke, so easy to make. If you've never made apple butter before, I highly recommend it. It is fun under the sun, and it's absolutely delicious, homemade. And then for lunch, I had some leftover pumpkin mac and cheese pasta with a little bit of pesto on top and a pumpkin scone that I had left over. So this was a very pumpkin day, and I highly recommend the pesto on top of a pumpkin mac and cheese, because the acidity of the pesto really pairs perfectly with the creaminess of the pasta. And then it was my friend's 25th birthday, so we threw her a little Golden Girls themed birthday party, and I made a spicy seafood pasta, and we had cake, and we played Golden Girls games, and it was so much fun. And then the next day I decided to have a little bagel, and I couldn't decide between a savory or a sweet one, so I did half and half of each, because on this channel and in my life, we love the best of both worlds. You gotta have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I made one smoked salmon bagel with cream cheese and my carrot lox, and then I had the other one with peanut butter and my apple butter, because I was so excited to finally have it and try it. And oh boy, was it good. And then later I made a pumpkin spice latte, and it was for a partnership I'm doing coming up with Chobani on my TikTok. And if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, you definitely should. We have some fun over there. It is good times. And then later I made, what am I making here? Oh yes, it's a soup. Sometimes looking back I forget, but look how nice. It was such a cold and chilly day out, so it was perfect for a soup. And this soup is this cabbage and tomato soup with this cashew cream. Look at her. Look, I know soups are hard, man, because they always don't look the best, but they're so incredible. They're warm, they're comforting, they're filling, potatoes, and it just, yeah. And we had the soup pretty late at night, and so I wasn't super hungry at dinner time, but we had some veggie burgers left over that we made in the freezer, so we defrosted them, and I had a lettuce wrap with it. They're incredible. They're so good. And then we had some popcorn and watched a movie, and I went to bed. And then the next day was my brother's birthday, so we partied it up. He basically wanted a day. There's a lot of birthdays in October. There's 5 birthdays in our family in October. No, 6. It's crazy. It's full of cake and fun and all kinds of crazy times, but he wanted us to have his perfect day, which is eating oat squares all together, which is his favorite cereal. So we did that for breakfast, and we did that little happy birthday sign with him. He loves, oat squares need to sponsor him, because he has eaten oat squares for the past 10 years of his life, and he loves them so much. And then he wanted chicken nuggets for lunch, and look at this chicken nugget was red. What how it was a bright neon red, so I didn't eat it, because I'm is that a chemical, is it has it been dipped in C4 or something? So I didn't eat it. I ended up making another one, but I'd love to know why it was bright red. I was thinking maybe I don't know, some hot sauce. Anyways, I had an arugula salad on the side, because I bought a big thing of arugula and it was gonna go bad, so I had to just basically eat it with every meal, which you will see throughout this week. And then for dinner, he wanted my mom's famous beet and carrot pasta, which is honestly legendary, family favorite. I mean, anyone who has it is just, look at the arugula making another appearance. Anyone who has it is just blown away, because that's how sensational it is. And We all devoured that down to the last little bit. And it's really good with the arugula, actually. Like, I really enjoyed... Arugula just adds to any dish. And then I had to have seconds because, you know, pasta. And then, of course, we did his birthday cake. And he got them all out in one blow. What a guy! And then we obviously enjoyed some birthday cake. And the next day, well, the night before, actually, I prepared a charcoal loaf of bread for, you know, spooky season. And I've never made charcoal bread before, but it turned out so well, and I was so happy with it. And then I had some spicy enoki mushrooms with some breakfast potatoes on the side. You know I love a savory breakfast. You know it. And this just hit the spot. Mushrooms for breakfast? Yes. Potatoes for breakfast? Heck yes. Bread for breakfast? Heck yes. I was so proud of it. Look at the inside of it. It was like so crispy and crunchy on the outside. And it was so pretty on the inside. Oh my god. I'm like, I don't know. I love when things... Oh, and there's my dad making an appearance. He feels very special when he's on camera. Then I had some kefir later. And... wait a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have no idea where that kefir clip came from. It just like appeared, but it looks like it's nighttime there, but I'm still on breakfast here. So that's quite mysterious. All right, anyways, so I had some of the bread with some cream cheese and jam, which is such a good combo. I will support it till the day I die. And then had some leftovers of the soup for lunch, which was really good, but I heated it up too much and I burned my mouth on it like I burned my mouth on honestly everything. It's actually funny looking back and watching these because I burned my mouth a lot. I'm always too excited to eat. And then look, see, this is me having more kefir, but this is daytime. Make it make sense. I don't know what's going on. But I made some crispy, cheesy Parmesan Brussels sprouts. Can you believe Brussels sprouts grow like that on the stalk? Does that not look like an alien invention? Anyways, I think it's so cool. And then I made this kind of like impromptu apple fritter. Oh, look at this curl, by the way. I was just like kind of like obsessed with it. It was like a perfect ringlet. But back to the apple fritter is that it was a work. Like it was just, I just randomly kind of put something together. It was incredible. It was like an air fryer apple fritter. And it was, I've made it like 16 times since then. It's made with like a banana. It's so good. Anyways, for dinner, we had some gnocchi, and I was making pumpkin gnocchi, which is why it's such a pretty color. And I decided to make two different types for my family. I made everyone this creamy marinara one. And then I used a little, that's what theirs was, which was like a nice cream sauce with like tomato. And then for me, I made a brown maple butter sauce, and I made mine look like little pumpkins in a pumpkin patch. Does that not look so cute with the Brussels sprout leaves? I was honestly obsessed. And then I had some banana bites for dessert, which is just like banana frozen with almond butter and dipped in chocolate. So good. Banana turns, I know people get mad when you say that. Banana does kind of turn like ice cream once it's frozen. And then anyways, the next day I had a breakfast burrito. Stop. Literally don't let me look at this because it is midnight and I'm about to go make one of these right now. Like this breakfast burrito has to be one of my top favorite things I ever make. Look at her. The hash browns, the just egg, avocado, jalapeno. Like, oh, honestly, yeah, so good. And then I had an ice cap. My family brought me home an ice cap and they got some donuts, but don't you fret because your girl had some leftover apple fritter. So I was included as well because I had my little apple fritter. And then I decided to make some apple cider because 'tis the season for all things apple. And I also made some homemade milk chocolate kind of like Snickers bites there. It's kind of like an O. Henry Snickers kind of thing combined. And the apple cider turned out so good. And then I also made applesauce with the leftover stewed apples. I don't know if that's crazy. I mean, it worked and it was delicious. And I had a cider and applesauce. So, I mean, I didn't know if it would work out, but it really did. And I'm very impressed that I got a 2-for-1 because I hate wasting things in a recipe. You know, if you just throw something out. Anyways, then we carved our pumpkins and I took my black shot molasses and my Nil tea, which I've been trying to do every day because your girl's anemic and she's just trying her best to not be anemic anymore. And I made a mushroom risotto for dinner, and I was rushing so hardcore. I made like these little like chicken strip things out of tofu to go on top as well, and a little bit more arugula if you didn't notice. And I was going out for drinks and like a little social thing for my friend's birthday again. And yeah, I was like scarfing. It was so good, but I felt like I barely had any time to appreciate it because I was like running, and I ate it in like 5 minutes, if not less. And then the next day I heated up some of my apple cider and made myself another little apple fritter. And I had some, I think it was yogurt and granola just because I was hungry, but it was farmer's market day. So I packed my apple cider to go with me. And I packed an apple fritter because it's very hard sometimes to find like a good vegan pastry at the farmer's market. So, you know, I was looking out for myself, and I made one myself. I brought it with me, and it was so good. And then when I got home, I had some just egg kind of like toast thing with also a piece of jam toast because sweet and savory, so good together. Then I decided, I always forget the name of that squash. It's like delicata squash, I think, maybe. But it's such a good squash because the skin is really tender. And you can make like just about anything with it, which is incredible. So I made these kind of like squash rings that are dipped in like panko breadcrumbs. And I made like a ranch dressing sauce to go with them. You guys, onions move over. Like, these are the new onion ring. I'm just kidding. Nothing could ever replace an onion ring. Not in my mind. Also, if you don't snack on a few chickpeas, like, are you even cooking with chickpeas? I love to just snack on. Is that crazy? Like, just raw chickpeas are so delicious. And for dinner, I made a big curry thing with chickpeas and zucchini, sweet potato, with a side of rice, and you guessed it, more arugula. And it was so good. Honestly, you just can't go wrong with any kind of like warm and comforting meal these days. It's the season. It's cold outside. We might be getting snow tomorrow, which is not like related to this video, but like in current day, we might be getting snow tomorrow, and I'm very excited. And then for this breakfast, I got out my mini pumpkin waffle iron, and I made savory waffles. Now, I was really wanting to use my waffle iron, but I wasn't in the mood for like a sweet waffle. So I made savory ones, which I've never done before, but like there's sage and thyme and oregano, like so many nice spices. And I put green onions and some jalapenos in it. When I tell you, now I sat there for a while because it took me forever to make it in the mini press because I made enough for everybody, but I made breakfast sandwiches with them. I put cheese and some more arugula and a little just egg patty that I made. And it was so good. Why have I never thought to make savory waffles before and then make a sandwich out of them? Revolutionary, honestly, and so good. You guys, if you've never made savory waffles, this is your sign. Get out there, make a savory waffle. And then later I was kind of hungry, so I decided to make some toast, some peanut butter and apple butter, and some jam and peanut butter, I believe, too. Or maybe it was just a jam toast, I'm not sure. Raspberry jam. I've been kind of obsessed with raspberry jam lately. It's kind of winning over strawberry. I made a baked potato soup as well for lunch, which turned out really good. And then later for dinner, I saw this idea, I think, on TikTok, where it's like a chicken and cheese quesadilla, but you turn the quesadilla into a little like carved out pumpkin thing, which was really fun. So I carved out my little eyes and the little smile, and I think it turned out really cute. But practically, I wouldn't say it was practical because you like put everything together and then like you obviously have to cook it, right? And then like a bunch of like the bits fell out, and it was kind of messy, but it was delicious, and honestly 10 out of 10. So that is what I ate in a week, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope everyone's doing well, and we'll see you in the next one.